Woo! Good day, good day, good day. I'm sure y'all can hear the train outside yelling at me. I don't know why it's yelling at me, but nonetheless, it's yelling at me personally. It is not about whatever's going on out there. That is a personal attack from that train. But we're going to keep it moving, coming to you live from downtown Baltimore, and we're going to get started. Now, before we move on, I want to, of course, welcome you to Clicks to Clients, episode 8. So first of all, what I want to say is raise your hand if this sounds familiar. You get inspired, you decide you're going to take content seriously. You're going to record a few videos and you write a couple blog posts. You start posting on social media every day. You are locked in. And for about 2 or 3 weeks, you are crushing it. You are posting consistently. Your content is good. You feel good. You are building momentum. And then life happens. Excuse me, a big project comes in. Client needs something that's urgent. You get sick. The kids have something going on and on and on. There's so many distractions. And then suddenly it's been 3 weeks since you last posted anything, then a month. And at some point you stop even thinking about it because the guilt of being inconsistent is weighing heavy on you. I ask again, does that sound familiar? That cycle is not only something that happens consistently, but it is important to know that it is not a character flaw. It is not laziness. It is what happens when you try to build a content habit without a system to support it. Motivation gets you started. Systems keep you going, but today I'm going to give you the exact system for creating content consistently without it taking over your life, without it distracting you from the business that you're building and what you're trying to accomplish, but so that it continues to be an asset. Requiring you to be a content creator full-time is not what we're going to talk about because you're a business owner first. So what we want to do is help you understand how to build a content approach that fits that reality as a business owner. So let's get started. Again, though, pause for marketing. You are watching Clicks to Clients, the show where we break down digital marketing in real terms for real business owners. I'm Clinton Jiggetts, founder of Best Fit Digital. We're a boutique digital marketing agency located in Baltimore, Maryland. But without further delay, let's get into it. First of all, consistency beats quality every time. But why? Done is always better than perfect. Consistent is better than both. The perfectionism that traps so many people is the number one reason why business owners burn out on content. They want to be perfect. They spend 4 hours trying to make a 3-minute video perfect. They rewrite a blog, post 7 times before even publishing it. They stare at a blank social media caption for 20 minutes, just trying to come up with something that is clever. And here's the brutal truth. That perfect video that you spend 4 hours on is going to perform about the same as a decent video that you recorded in 30 minutes. Your audience does not know what the perfect version looked like. They only see what you present, what you published. And something that is published is infinitely more valuable than something that is perfect sitting in your drafts waiting to be published. Now, I'm not telling you to publish garbage. I'm telling you that good enough and published beats perfect. And sitting in drafts is just delaying you accomplishing your goal. Your goal was not to create the magnum opus every week. The goal was to show up every week with something genuinely useful. The algorithm rewards consistency over the viral nature of the content. Every major platform, whether it's YouTube or Google, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, they all reward consistency in its algorithm. A channel that publishes every Tuesday and Thursday will always, and I do mean always, outperform a channel that publishes sporadically. Even if the sporadic channel occasionally produces a viral hit, consistently signals to the algorithm and to the platform that you are a reliable, active creator. It signals to the audience that you are serious, and it signals to yourself that this is something that you have to do. You have to take seriously. It's an obligation. It's intertwined in your business strategy. Think about content creators and channels that you follow. They are more than likely posting consistently. I guarantee you that they're not the ones who post once a month. And I guarantee you that they rarely publish masterpieces. They are the ones who show up over and over and over. That is the standard that you are building toward. You need to lower the expectations, lower the bar to raise the volume. And that is the mindset shift that will change everything for you. Stop thinking about each piece of content as a major production. Okay, you're not Spielberg. Start thinking about it as a conversation. If a client called you right now with a question about your industry, about your company, about your product, your services, you will be able to answer them naturally, confidently, and helpfully without spending 4 hours preparing, right? You're the SME, you're the expert, you're the subject matter expert. That conversation that you have with customers, that is content. Record it, write it, post it. The best content is usually the simplest. A 30-second tip, a 2-minute answer to a common question, a photo of a job you just finished with a short caption about what made it challenging. Real, direct, and useful. Authentic. That is the bar. You clear it every single day just by doing your job. So you might as well publish it. You just need a system in order to capture it. And that's what we're going to tackle next. So the sustainable content system is the foundation for the long-term success of being a content creator. The content system is for busy business owners like you, and we're going to walk through it together. So the way this exact system works, and the type that I recommend to small business owners, that allows you to stay consistent without spending more than a few hours a week on content, is the same type of system that we empower with our do-it-yourself webinars to our clients. When it comes to creating content, the first part of this system is to define your content. Your content minimum is basically going to be the smallest amount of content you can create in a week and still feel like you are showing up meaningfully. Not the ideal amount, not the dream amount, but the minimum. What I've found in my experience over the last 10 years is for most business owners, that looks like this. One longer piece of content per week, so long form, that's what this is. A blog post, a video, a podcast, those are long form. 2 to 3 social media posts per week, 1 email per month to your list. That's it. That is the minimum. Some weeks you would do more, but as long as you hit the minimum benchmarks, you are consistent. And what will happen? The algorithm will reward you. And consistent is ultimately what wins. That's step 1. Step 2 is to build a content bank of content. Think of it as your reserve, content ideas you pull. Drop them into notes on your phone or in an Excel spreadsheet. The goal is to never sit down to create content without already knowing what you are creating. What I've found in my experience, the key to building your content reserves is to spend 30 minutes. You can do it immediately after this show and answer some prompts. What are the 10 most common questions your clients ask? What are the 5 biggest mistakes you see in your industry or your company made in its earlier years? What are the top 5 things you wish every client or customer knew? These are the types of things that you can answer. What are 3 things that changed about your industry in the last few years? Maybe what results have you gotten for clients that you are most proud of? Those answers are content ideas. Write them all down. Like I said, you can record them, you can save them in your phone, but write them down in a simple document or notes app. And then you now have 20 to 30 content ideas ready to go. So every time something comes up in your business that you find interesting, just add it to that reserve, add it to that bank. That way you will never run out of ideas and you're not putting yourself in a position where you're trying to come up with original ideas on the fly. So we have step 1 and step 2. Step 3 is to hold yourself accountable by blocking time for content. The same way you block your calendar for calls or internal meetings or external meetings or whatever the scenario, you need to block your calendar, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour twice a week, but you need to block your calendar. Creating content does not happen accidentally, and it's not something you can do when time randomly becomes available. You need to mark your calendar and treat it just like a client appointment. Block out a specific time each week or twice a month if you're going to bulk create. We'll talk about that a bit more later. But that time has to be dedicated to content creation. For me, my time is on Tuesday mornings and Thursday afternoons. My time there, my team knows that my calendar is blocked, and that's when I'm creating content. My phone goes on Do Not Disturb. I open up my content bank. I pick the idea that meets the most relevant to me right now, and I start to create. I'm not multitasking. I'm not checking email. I'm not taking client calls. And when you have that time blocked for your content creation, it becomes a habit. So instead of it becoming an emergency or you're getting lost in the sauce of daily life, and then is 2 months later and you haven't created content in weeks, right? Or months in that scenario. So figure out what that time is. For some clients who I've consulted with, that time is on Saturdays at 10 p.m. when the kids go to bed. Whatever it is, you have to hold yourself accountable, and that starts by putting it on your calendar. Also, when you hold yourself accountable, you can avoid feeling guilty for not posting because you know exactly when you are scheduled to work on that content. Step 4, there are great tools. I am not sponsored by them, but repurpose.io is the one that I use. But you want to repurpose. Before you create something new, before you create any new content, ask yourself if something you've already created can be repurposed. When you create long form content, it's great to be able to clip them into 1 minute to 90-second clips. You create a blog post maybe 3 months ago and only got 10 views, repurpose it. Turn it to a social media carousel. Use Canva and create some images to go with the content. You recorded something on YouTube months ago, you could repurpose it on Instagram or Facebook. Your newsletter from last month, expand one of the tips into a full blog post. Repurposing is not cheating, it is smart. Your audience on each platform is different. And most of all, your content does not have an expiration date per se. Most of your email subscribers may have never watched your YouTube channel. The same content can serve a completely different audience on a completely different platform. Use what you have already created before you spend energy creating something new. Step 5, use AI as a starting point, but not as a crutch. AI serves so many great uses, but it can easily dilute creativity and easily put you into a situation where you're creating slop. We don't want to create AI slop. We don't want to create a situation where we're not even reviewing what AI is helping us to create, and we're just trusting it as if it's an all-knowing, perfect system. So rather you're using Claude or ChatGPT, they can dramatically speed up your content creation while not replacing your actual voice and expertise. So use AI to generate an outline for a blog post, but then you should write the blog post yourself or create the content yourself. Use AI to brainstorm 10 angles on a topic and then pick the one that resonates the most and you create from there. What I'm trying to encourage you to do is not to use AI as a complete solvent, because what you're going to run into is creating junk, and the algorithms are going to recognize it as junk, and they're not going to spread your content. So using AI as a starting point is great, but it is not, and I repeat, it is not a finished product. The expertise, the real examples, the personality, the experience, the stories from your actual business, that is what makes content connect. AI helps you get the blank page, or get the blank page and get some words and some thoughts together so that you can focus on adding your element, your human element that makes your content worth reading and worth engaging with. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're doing all these things, it does not create a perfect system where it's impossible to burn out. So let's talk about how to avoid burnout long-term. I've come together with or created 5 rules for staying consistent without burning out. So understanding that even with the best system, burnout can creep in. So the 5 rules that I personally live by and I've recommended to my clients to make content creation sustainable over a long term. Rule number one: create in your energy. Know when you have the most creative energy and protect that time for content. So whether it's first thing in the morning, late evenings, midday, use that time. When I'm tired of a long day personally, I do not try to write. Um, or if I have one of those days where from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I have back-to-back meetings, I know that I'm not going to be in my peak energy. So those are not times that are best for me to create. Me, I'm a morning person. If you're a morning person, create in the morning. If you come alive at night, I'm asleep. I'm sound asleep. But use that time. But if you're working against your own natural rhythm, that's going to make it much harder and much easier to burn out. Rule number two: give yourself permission to be human. You are going to miss a week, right? You're going to publish something that does not land the way you hoped. You are going to look at content and feel like it's not good enough. That's all part of the process, and it happens to everyone. Insert your favorite creator's name here. The worst thing you can do, though, is to let one missed week become two, and two become a month, and a month become a reason to quit entirely. Miss a week, dust yourself off, acknowledge it, and get back on the horse. Perfection is not the standard. Repeat that with me. Perfection is not the standard. Persistence and consistency. Rule three: track what resonates. Without data, you don't have the ability to optimize the content that you create. So you need to look at the statistics. Every platform has analytics. Look at what people are engaging with, what length of time, what frequency, who they are, the diversity of your audience, the location, and play to those things because those are going to give you really great tools to build your content around. So the most views, the most shares, the most direct messages, your audience is telling you what they want more of. So when something lands well, create more like it. When something uh, is consistent, is going to provide a lot of good results for you overall. It's really important that you remember that when something consistently falls flat, you have to stop making that type of content and redirect that energy towards what is working. Your analytics are not just numbers, they are feedback. Use them consistently. Rule number four: this is so important because we are often the worst critics of ourselves. You have to remember to celebrate small wins. When you publish consistently for a month, acknowledge that. When a piece of content gets more engagement than usual, share that win with someone. When a client tells you that they found you because of your content or something you posted in general, write that down. Small wins will fuel your momentum, and momentum is what will keep you going when the process feels repetitive or slow. And then rule number five is remember why you're doing this content. Marketing is not about going viral. Everyone wants to go viral, and it's addictive if you've been lucky enough to have it happen to you a time or two. But ultimately, uh, your strategy for creating content is not about vanity metrics. It's about showing up for people who need what you have, building a reputation in your market, and also creating an asset that works for your business long term. It has to work for you long after you created it. So every piece of content that you publish is a conversation that you are having with a future client. Keep that in mind. When the process feels tedious, you are not just posting content, you are building something that will resonate with your current and future customers. So, what I want to talk to you about before we wrap up this episode is I something where I want to speak directly to you as a business owner who is likely exhausted right now. You're running a company, you're managing clients, you're managing employees. You might be dealing with staffing issues, cash flow, operations, and 100 other things that have nothing to do with marketing. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, you are also supposed to be creating content. Clinton told me to create content, right? Building your online presence and competing with businesses that have full-time marketing teams is daunting. But you have to know that doing it yourself is possible. I want you to know that you have to do all of this in order to succeed, or you don't have to do all of this in order to succeed. And certainly you don't have to be perfect. You shouldn't even strive to be perfect. You just have to start and keep going. One blog is better than none. 3 social posts a week is better than 0. 1 video a month is better than nothing. YouTube channels that or building a YouTube strategy that is perfect or aligned with maybe some of your favorite creators should not be your goal. The bar for starting is much lower than you think. The rewards for staying consistent are higher than you can imagine right now. The businesses I've watched transform their online presence are not the ones who do it perfectly. They understand that this is a long-term strategy to improve their revenue and their client satisfaction. And they understand the importance of making content a non-negotiable part of their week. Building this habit over time and trusting the process can sometimes be hard to manage, but you can do it. Start smaller than you think you need to, stay longer than you think you can, and that will change the game for you. Marketing on your own, running your own digital marketing strategy is not easy, but it is possible. And you can do it. I appreciate you investing 25 minutes of your time today. This is episode 8 of Clicks to Clients. I want you to remember, if nothing more, that consistency beats perfections. Systems drive motivation, and perfect is not your aspiration. Block the time for your content, commit to your minimum, and that is all you need to worry about right now. In the meantime, I want you to hit subscribe, drop a comment. If you want our free 90-day PDF on how to build your internal marketing and digital strategy, comment free PDF in the comments. But until next time, I want you to know that the real obstacle that is in your way is the person you see in the mirror. You can succeed online. You can build a digital presence. Of course, you can engage with an agency like Best Fit Digital, which is bestfitdigital.co. But the reason why you joined this podcast is because you want to do it yourself. You can do it yourself. You just have to start today, not tomorrow. Without further delay, again, I want to thank you for joining. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what topic I should cover in our next episode. And as always, make it a great day on purpose.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.